back to Is Your Six Covered, talking about bringing in a firearm on an airplane. So, some of us, I think, after talking to some chats, are a little leery. People don't feel comfortable doing it. Well, I say it's pretty simple. So I'll go through the steps, and hopefully this will make for an easier trip bringing a firearm. So the things you're going to need are a hard case, whether it's plastic, a hard plastic, or a metal case. You're going to bring a firearm. And I think the best way to do this is, the reason why I carry this container is it's still thick, it's still strong, but it's lightweight. And I can just throw it right in with my bag. I don't have to have an additional carry-on because of some big massive box. So the way I do it is I leave the slide open so that TSA can visually inspect to make sure that it's unloaded. There's no bullets in the magazine. And for ammunition, you can bring ammunition inside of the box, or you can have it inside of your check-in bag. But it needs to be covered. The primers need to be covered. Some airplane companies will say that it needs to be in the original box that it came in, or some will say that you can have it in a hard plastic case that's made for ammunition, where each shell goes into its own little thing to protect the primers. But that's how I do it. So what I like about this case is it has the notch for running a cable. And I run a cable through the frame of the suitcase, and I connect it into the box, and I lock it up. Okay, so let me lock it, change the code. But now, if for some reason this bag, the zipper blows open, and all your pants and everything flies out, and you see this thing dragging along the belt turnstile deal as the bags are coming back down, or depending on where you're flying into, you may have to go to another spot and actually go to the check-in when they drop it off, depending on the airport. So things to think about. You're going to want plenty of time, so give yourself plenty of time for just the normal TSA inspection kind of stuff, going through security and all that stuff. But before you even get to that, give yourself additional time, because you're not going to be able to check in curbside bringing a firearm onto an airplane. You're going to have to go up to the attendant, you're going to wait in line, walk through the turnstile deals there, tell them that you're going to declare and you're bringing on a firearm. So from at that point, that person, the attendant's going to probably direct you down the counter to another individual that basically waits there for stuff like this. So if you're going to check in a handgun, a firearm, you're going to need to show them that it's in a locked container like we talked about. There's a code, so it's locked. Now if you bought a box that has the holes where you're normally going to put locks, you're going to have the locks attached. Now if you buy a box that has, say, 2 holes, you're going to need to have 2 locks. So both of those holes are going to need to have locks on it. So that's something to think about. If you go with just a smaller one, if you're doing concealed carry kind of stuff, the smaller the box, the better, because it weighs less. So your luggage, if that 50-pound mark, or depending on the airplane, whatever that charge is, you could be right at the point where you might have to pay the additional weight fee. So that's another thing to think about. Now, when it comes to inspecting the firearm, the attendant told you to go see the next attendant down the way. You open it up, you show them that it's unloaded and everything. You're not going to give them the key. You're not going to give them the combination. You're going to be the only one that knows that code. And according to, let me make sure I say it right, the Code of Federal Regulations, 49 CFR 1540.111, TSA agents are not trained or allowed to handle firearms. They're going to need to check that you do have it, that it's safe, it's not loaded, your ammunition's in the container that it needs to be in. but they're not going to handle the weapon. They're not going to, they're not going to open the slide or anything like that. And that's another reason why I like to keep the slide open while it's being in the box when you're working with the airplane kind of stuff. It just makes it easier. You don't have to touch the gun to show them that it's unloaded. Some things to think about. With the TSA, this is a TSA approved lock. Now this isn't what you're going to use to lock your gun. Okay, this is strictly just for the bag. Do not lock your box with the TSA, your firearm box with the TSA lock. Okay, so a good example, and I don't know if this is, if you can see it or not. Can you see it? Okay, well it'll say TSA and it'll have a number. It'll say 2. I think there's up to 7 of them. So they have master keys. So on this one they would grab the master key 2, they put it in, and they can open the lock. For us, we basically just use the combination that we've given ourselves. So that will be locked on the, can you see that? Can you zoom in there? So basically you will lock the suitcase with the TSA lock, and now it's locked. So all your clothes are in here, your firearm's in here, and you're ready to go. So he'll say you need to see it, so basically you'll unlock the case. Let's see here. So I unlock the case. You're going to fill out some paperwork. You're going to show them that it's in a lockbox. You're going to open it up for them. You're going to show them this. They're going to inspect it visually, not touching it, but basically looking at it. They're going to see everything's what it needs to be. You're going to place the card into the box. You'll close it up. You're going to lock it, scramble the combination or lock the lock, and put it into your gear. You're going to close it up, zip it up, do the same thing. TSA lock is back on there, and then they'll take the bag, and from there they'll give you a slip, like a luggage slip, but it's for a firearm. So you'll have that information, and on its merry way underneath the plane it'll go. So a couple considerations to think about when flying are, like I said earlier, make sure you're there plenty early. If you're gonna fly out of country, that's a whole nother ball game in itself. If you're gonna travel with a long firearm like a rifle or a shotgun, it's not as big of a deal as just bringing on a handgun to a foreign country. You're gonna need to do some research online. Probably most likely talk with the embassy over there, get all the documentation and paperwork that's needed and required. And if you get that far, you're going to get a receipt from customs once you get there. And it's going to be let's see, let me make sure I give you the right form number. It's going to be a 4457. And customs is going to fill out, you're going to fill some of it out. And what's nice about that is it's documentation that this firearm that you're bringing into another country, you brought into the country. You didn't purchase it in the other country that you're visiting and bringing it back to whatever state or country you're from. And that'll keep you from having for them trying to make you pay duty taxes and all that other stuff on it. So it'll save you a huge headache. So that's the simple down and dirty way to fly with the firearm. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, please, and comment. I'd like to get your comments. If you had issues in the past, bring them up. So far, I've been lucky. I've gone a few times to different states within the United States, and it's been really, really simple. It's a lot less scary than I thought it was going to be. So good luck. Have a great time on vacation, and hey, know that you're able to bring a firearm in those certain areas as long as you check all the state laws and rules. So again, have a great day, and is your 6 covered? Thanks.